Unfair, inaccurate, and deceptive. Those are just a few adjectives used by critics of Issue 1's ballot language.
A group called Citizens Not Politicians accuses the state ballot board of deliberately trying to deceive voters. WLWT News 5's John London is here with a battle of words over the wording. John?
Yeah, Ashley, this is one of those disputes where each side accuses the other of trying to pull a fast one. Proponents of Issue 1 emphasize it would end gerrymandering in Ohio. Those opposed insist it would do just the opposite, and voters seem a bit bewildered.
Ohioans who vote on Issue 1 this fall will have the last word, but the wording of what they're voting on is a major point of contention right now, and it's sowing confusion.
I saw TikTok about it.
An issue in search of attention.
No, I haven't really heard much about it until you just told me about it.
According to the Ohio Supreme Court, the ballot language approved by the state ballot board is fine, that Issue 1 would require gerrymandering. Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose hails the ruling as a huge win for Ohio voters who deserve an honest explanation of what they're being asked to decide. The court's opinion reinforces that this proposed amendment does in fact require the gerrymandering of Ohio's legislative and congressional districts. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine's among the politicians calling for a rejection of Issue 1.
Do you want them drawing the lines of their own districts, or do you want citizens to draw them?
Democrat David Pepper takes sharp issue with the issue's wording.
Voting yes ends gerrymandering, and they have led to a false impression that voting yes somehow requires gerrymandering. George Orwell would be embarrassed by what's happening. This is sort of what Putin would do if he could write ballot language.
For years, the ballot board, politicians, and the courts have been all over the map trying to draw acceptable lines. Whether a citizens panel gets its turn,
I feel like I can't really make a big comment on it at this time. I need to find out more for myself.
Is in the hands of those who vote this fall.
If it was something I knew about and maybe I wanted to look more into it, I would look more into it. But since I don't know anything, I would probably just go into the booth and vote on it.
Sample ballots have gone out, even though two disputed sections of the ballot language must be rewritten. Ballot board takes that up tomorrow as Ohio's map-making ability trudges on along yet another very uncertain path. John London, WLWT News 5.
John, thank you.